They told you that the beast was dead. They told you that we evolved, that we climbed out of the dirt, washed the blood from our hands, and built a world of glass, steel, and cold, hard logic. They lied. The beast didn't die. It was only sedated. And in the modern arena, whether it's the boardroom, the battlefield, or the hidden power struggles of everyday life, the men and women who truly dominate are not the ones with the most spreadsheets. They are the ones who have remembered how to listen to the whisper in the dark. Welcome to the 7th installment of the Hunter's Code. Today, we are tearing down the altar of pure rationality. Logic is a tool, but instinct is an architecture. It is a 300-million-year-old supercomputer operating silently beneath your waking consciousness. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt a heavy, unexplainable tension? Have you ever looked at a perfectly lucrative business deal, yet felt a cold knot twisting in your stomach, telling you to walk away? Have you ever known exactly what someone was going to say before they opened their mouth? This is not magic. This is not mystical nonsense. This is your primal architecture overriding your slow, clumsy frontal cortex. This is your intuition. And if you learn how to refine it, trust it, and weaponize it, you will possess an unfair advantage that no Ivy League degree can teach, and no algorithm can predict. In this masterclass, we will deconstruct the biology of the gut feeling. We will teach you how to strip away the noise of anxiety to hear the true signal of instinct. And finally, we will show you how to forge this raw, primal sense into an instrument of absolute strategic dominance. Pay attention. The hunt begins now. To weaponize your instinct, you must first understand its machinery. Society praises the neocortex, the bumpy outer layer of your brain responsible for language, logic, and abstract thought. It is the newest part of our hardware. It is what allows us to build rockets and write poetry, but it is incredibly slow. Deep beneath the neocortex lies the limbic system, and at its core, the amygdala. This is the ancient watchtower. This is the relic of the Pleistocene epoch. Long before humans had language, we survived purely on the binary code of the wild: predator or prey, safe or dangerous, fight or flight. When your environment shifts, when a threat emerges or an opportunity flashes, your senses capture terabytes of data per second. Micro-expressions, shifts in pheromones, minute changes in vocal frequency. Your conscious mind cannot process this data. It's too heavy. But your limbic system does. In milliseconds, it runs a pattern recognition sweep against every experience you've ever had and every genetic memory you inherited. And here is the secret the scientific community has only recently admitted. Your brain is not confined to your skull. It extends into your gut. This is the enteric nervous system. Over 500 million neurons line your digestive tract. It produces 95% of your body's serotonin. When your limbic system detects a subconscious anomaly, it doesn't send you a text message. It sends an electrical pulse down the vagus nerve directly into your stomach. That is the gut feeling. It is a biological alarm bell. It is the manifestation of millions of variables being calculated in a fraction of a second, presenting you with a finalized conclusion before your conscious mind has even read the first data point. Ask any Tier 1 Special Forces operator, any veteran detective, any self-made billionaire. They will all tell you the same thing. Data informs the strategy, but instinct pulls the trigger. The tragedy of the modern man is that we have been trained to ignore the alarm. We rationalize it away. We feel the knot in our stomach when we meet a treacherous partner or a toxic business associate, and we tell ourselves, let's be reasonable. Let's look at their resume. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. The prey gives the predator the benefit of the doubt. The hunter does not. If your biology sounds the alarm, you do not debate it, you honor it. But to do that, you must first learn the difference between the voice of your instinct and the voice of your fear. We live in an age of sensory gluttony. We are drowning in a sea of cheap dopamine, manufactured outrage, and artificial urgency. Your nervous system was designed to handle acute, life-threatening stress once every few weeks. Today, you subject it to chronic, low-grade stress every time you open your phone. Because of this constant overstimulation, your baseline is anxiety. And here lies the greatest trap in the pursuit of strategic dominance, mistaking anxiety for intuition. How do you separate the signal from the noise? How do you know if that tight feeling in your chest is a profound intuitive warning to back out of a deal, or just the result of a caffeine overdose and imposter syndrome? You must learn the somatic signatures of both. Anxiety is loud. It is chaotic. It lives in your head and your upper chest. It speaks in a frantic loop of what-ifs. What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? What if I lose all my money? Anxiety is desperate. It rushes you. It begs you to take immediate reactive action just to relieve the psychological pressure. Instinct, however, is quiet. It is absolute. It does not argue. It does not offer a list of what-ifs. It lives in your gut and your core. It is a profound, unshakable knowing. When intuition speaks, it doesn't sound like panic. It sounds like a cold, hard fact. It says, don't trust him, or move now, or stay silent. To calibrate your instrument, to turn your body back into a hypersensitive antenna, you must embark on a protocol of subtraction. You cannot hear the whisper of your primal self over the screaming of your modern addictions. When you remove the noise, the signal becomes deafening. You will start to feel the physical weight of a lie when someone speaks it to you. You will feel the gravitational pull of a correct decision before you have the data to prove it. You will transition from being a reactive player on the board to a proactive force of nature. In the 1950s, a military strategist and fighter pilot named John Boyd developed a concept that would revolutionize tactical thinking forever. He called it the OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, act. Boyd realized that in any competitive environment, whether a dogfight, a business negotiation, or a street fight, the victor is the one who can cycle through this loop faster than their opponent. Most people get stuck in the orient phase. They observe a change in the environment, and then their conscious mind desperately tries to analyze it. They overthink. They hesitate. They gather more data. And while they are orienting, the predator acts. Refined intuition acts as a hyperdrive for the OODA loop. It allows you to completely bypass the slow, conscious orient and decide phases. When your primal instinct is tuned, you observe and you act. The orientation and decision happens subconsciously, instantly. But there is a critical distinction here. Instinctual action is not impulsive action. Impulsivity is an emotional reaction to a lack of control. It is thrashing in the water. Refined instinct utilizes what we call the predator's pause. Between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. It may only last a microsecond. In that space lies your power. When an opportunity or a threat presents itself, the amateur reacts immediately out of fear or greed. The master pauses. In that infinitesimal pause, you drop into your body. You feel the gut. You read the subtle data points. You let the supercomputer run its calculation. And then you execute with lethal, unhesitating precision. You don't strike because you are angry. You don't retreat because you are afraid. You do it because the quiet voice in the dark said, now. To dominate strategically, you can not only listen to your own internal signals, you must become a master at reading the involuntary signals of others. You must learn to read the invisible. Human beings are terrible liars. Even the best sociopaths leak truth through their biology. The conscious mind controls the words, but the primal brain controls the body. When you enter a room, stop listening to what people are saying. Words are the cheapest form of data. Words are camouflage. Look at the architecture beneath the words. This is not about playing parlor tricks. This is about strategic asymmetry. When you can read the primal signals of your opponent, you are playing chess while they are playing checkers. You know what they value, you know what they fear, and you know their breaking point long before they reveal it themselves. You do not exploit this maliciously. You use it to navigate the battlefield with perfect vision. You use it to protect your empire, to dismantle deception, and to strike exactly where the defense is weakest. You now understand the biology. You understand the theory. But theory without execution is just intellectual entertainment. Intuition is a muscle, and like any muscle, if it is not subjected to resistance, it atrophies. You must forge this sixth sense through deliberate, calculated trauma to your comfort zone. Here is the protocol for awakening the primal self. Digestion requires immense energy. When you are constantly fed, your body is lethargic, your senses are dulled. Apex predators hunt best when they are hungry. Implement 24 to 72 hour fasts. As the glucose leaves your system and you enter ketosis, watch what happens to your mind. The fog clears, your sense of smell sharpens, your focus becomes entirely singular. You will feel the primal wiring come back online, screaming for clarity. In this state, your intuition is razor sharp. Your modern life is perfectly temperature controlled. Break the thermostat. Plunge into freezing water. When the cold hits you, your neocortex shuts down. You cannot overthink in an ice bath. Your ego vanishes. The only thing left is your breath and your raw biological will to survive. This trains you to remain calm in the face of a massive shock to your nervous system. When the business deal collapses or the crisis hits, your competitors will panic. You will remember the ice. You will breathe. You will see the path forward. You cannot test your instincts in safety. You must put yourself in environments where the consequences are real, but controlled. Engage in combat sports. Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing. When another human being is trying to choke you unconscious, you cannot use spreadsheets. You cannot rely on a 5-year plan. You must rely on micro movements, spatial awareness, and pure, unadulterated instinct. You will learn to feel an opponent's intention through their grip before they even move. This translates directly to the boardroom. You will learn to feel the shifts in power dynamics just as clearly. Once a week, take an hour of total sensory deprivation. No phone, no music, no books. Sit in an empty room. At first, the noise of your anxiety will be deafening. Your mind will claw at the walls, begging for a dopamine hit. Let it scream. Wait it out. Eventually, the noise subsides. And in that heavy, golden silence, you will finally hear the deep, resonant voice of your own instinct. You will find the answers you have been searching for, waiting patiently in the dark. We do not abandon logic. We do not throw away the spreadsheets, the data, or the rational analysis. The master integrates both. Let your conscious mind do the heavy lifting of gathering the data. Let it map the terrain. Let it build the structures. But when the moment of truth arrives, when the stakes are absolute, when the timeline is compressed, and when the variables are too chaotic to measure, you put the charts away. You close your eyes. You drop into the architecture of your ancestors. Strategic dominance is not about being the smartest person in the room. There will always be someone smarter. It is about being the most attuned. It is about moving with the ruthless, undeniable certainty of nature itself. The people who rule this world, the true architects of reality, do not second-guess themselves. They do not live in the paralyzing loop of anxiety. They have forged an alliance with the beast within. They have realized that the ultimate weapon is not external. It is internal. It is the primal, thrumming instinct that has kept your bloodline alive for 1,000,000 years. Do not silence it. Feed it. Train it. Trust it. The hunt is yours.